So I have a student who's commenting under one of my prior YouTube clips saying that he's aware I've already put out a couple of prior clips discussing what you need to know for ECGs as well as heart murmurs for USMLE. But his concern is, what if the vignette, what if the stem doesn't give you a lot of supporting or helpful info to help you diagnose the murmur? Do you actually need to be expert? Do you actually need to be pretty good at listening to the murmur itself? And how do we practice that? Now, the student's right. I've talked about how for the overwhelming majority of questions on the USMLE, they will give you supporting info. They might give you, e.g., a Turner syndrome question where you should be listening for an aortic stenosis secondary to the bicuspid aortic valve, so you can move the stethoscope to the aortic location and say, okay, well, I'm not an expert at listening for a mid-systolic murmur, but if I have to imagine, sure, I think I'm hearing something between S1 and S2 right now, which is consistent with aortic stenosis. Honestly, that is how I would just arbitrarily say greater than 90% of any murmur questions would be on your USMLE. They are not going to really give you questions that are just, what are you listening to? That's it, okay? They might give you Marfan syndrome or Ehlers-Danlos, where you say, I know I'm supposed to be listening for a mid-systolic click for mitral valve prolapse, and then you move the stethoscope to the mitral location. You can hear a click to your best imagination. That's how you're going to answer the questions, okay? I don't think you need to be an expert at auscultating and actually hearing, nor do I think you should waste any of your fucking time reviewing what the murmurs are supposed to sound like. I want you memorizing the verbal descriptions of the murmurs, okay? You should know verbally that, for example, aortic regurg should be a decrescendo holodiastolic murmur, right? You should know a mitral valve prolapse, as I just said, would be a mid-systolic click. So verbally, you know what the murmurs are going to sound like. And then if you're confronted with a scenario where you're supposed to listen for that murmur, you can imagine that, yes, I think that's what I'm auscultating right now. I don't think you need to be practicing the actual auscultation of murmurs. I don't think that that's a great use of your time. Unless you're obviously like at the gym or, you're commuting. If you can find the time for audio, knock yourself out. But no, I do not think you have to formally spend the time practicing the auscultation for the murmurs. You know the deal. I'm going to continue to make more content. If you like my stuff, subscribe to my channel. And I appreciate your time. That's it.